The transformed life.
The transformed life.
The transformed life.
Salvation is in 3 dimensions.
Our spirit has been saved.
Our soul is being saved.
Our body will be.
I came into the church typically a Zongo boy that has been,
With girls and, that kind of thing.
especially if you are a nurse.
I don't feel guilty.
I had a girlfriend and then we broke up and it really hurt me.
I've given my life to Christ. Do you take it back?
What may be good may not be godly.
I was in the wrong location.
Who am I to condemn one that has made his life a kiosk, whilst I see myself as an international bank?
Hello, dearly beloved. I am Ked, and I'm honored and glad to welcome you to the Transformed Life series. I am transformed. What about you?
The transformed life. You don't need to be totally transformed before you can tell people about the level of transformation God has had in your life. On this journey, we want to share any amount of transformation that we have had by the discipleship of our pastor, Reverend Dr. Kenneth Eyim-Danquah. Welcome to the transformed life. Now on to our guest. Let me introduce you to Elijah Armah. He will tell us how the ministry of our man of God has transformed his life from when he became born again until now. You're welcome to the transformed life.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you tell us about when you became born again till now? How has your idea or your knowledge about Christianity changed? So you can share with us the knowledge you had before you became a Christian and the knowledge you have now about what Christianity is.
Okay. Thank you for hosting me on this, let me say, highly esteemed spiritual and very monumental episode. Okay, so before I encountered my father, Reverend Dr. Kenneth Eyim-Danquah, I had some, let me say, a level of knowledge when it comes to the dealings of the Lord, but I didn't understand grace the way I understand now. To me, let me say before then, when you sin or when you do anything contrary to what the Lord has told you, you will have to find ways and means to appease God so that God doesn't become angry at you and a lot of things. So the little thing that I will do, I will go to the park, I will go and pray, not because of love, but just to seek forgiveness. So let me say another way of penance. All right. But after I encountered him, I realized something, that God is not like a man that is angry at his children, waiting for them to sin for him to cane them. But already I've been forgiven, so whatever I do, I am doing it in appreciation of the love the Lord has shown me. So I can say that my life has transformed and it has affected every aspect of me by encountering and experiencing the ministry of my father, Reverend Dr. Kenneth Eyim-Danquah.
That's a blessing. So, if you can share with us your Christian living, there's a whole lot of talk about perfection when it comes to our Christian walk, right? And as this series, Transformed Life, can you throw light into our Christian walk practically? how we should live as Christians practically.
Okay. So we will first of all have to accept that our spirit has been saved. Our soul is being saved, and our body will be saved. In other ways, for you to live a perfected life, you will have to live a spirit-led life.
Okay.
So you don't have to align to the desires of the flesh if you want to mature.
Okay.
Because maturity is of the spirit. I remember one time there was an activity I had to embark on, and my flesh was not allowing me. In fact, I had to push myself and push myself and push myself, thinking that this is what the Lord has told me and this is what has to be done. But I realized that it was not working. Then the Lord asked me a question. Do you think it is of your strength that you can do it?
Okay.
Then I relaxed and allowed the Lord to work his work, and I was able to complete it. What I am saying is this: the spirit-led life is not a man-led life.
Okay.
It is a fully spirit-controlled life. And so, for you to live a perfected life, you have to live it in the sight of God.
Okay.
What may be perfect in the sight of man may not be perfect in the sight of God. The scriptures put it this way: all things are good. He says, not all things edify. We have access to all things, but it is not all that edify. Okay? Now, what may be good may not be godly, and what may be godly to a man or to God may have different interpretations. Okay. So, to me, maybe coming to church at 10 o'clock is good. But in the sight of God, it is not godly. It is not good. So to live a perfect life, you will have to find out the standard God has created for you. Because perfection is by the standard of the Spirit, not the standard of the society. Let me give an example in the biblical terms. If Mary had been alive by this time and she conceiving Jesus by this age, people would have called her born one. People would have said it is a lie. But because of what the Lord wanted to do, yes, Mary was her spouse, all right?
Yeah.
But it became necessary for God to choose her. So in the sight of society, it was not good. That is why Joseph wanted to leave Mary.
Okay.
It took the angel of God to convince him. Because societal standards, it is inappropriate. But in heavenly standards, it is appropriate. So for all you know, what you may think inappropriate, it is the best thing heaven has done in your life. So to live a perfect life, to live a matured life, just seek the will of God, seek the agenda of divinity, and that is it.
Okay. So in other words, what you are saying is that it is not that Christians, we are claiming to live a perfect life, but if you can live a perfect life, it is a total dependency on God.
Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so in our church, our pastor uses a lot of Greek explanation, like the Greek meanings of words in the Bible to disciple us. How important do you think it is to teach us with the Greek? You see, there's a lot of people say that there's no need for the Greek, but in here, I believe that our pastor using the rendering of the Greek as opposed to the English gives us more understanding of the Word of God. How do you think it's important in discipleship?
See, in the Old Testament, we have the Hebrew, we have the other languages in there, okay? In the New Testament, we have the Greek, mainly the Greek, okay? Now, let me use this word as an example. love in English is one word, love.
Okay.
But we have agape, we have eros, we have filio, we have all these words that English couldn't find a definitive word for it, so made it love. Now, if I want to understand what the writer actually meant, and I use just love to express what the writer meant, how will you understand the depth and the context in which the writer wrote? I will have to find the origin. For example, you are writing someone, a beloved, a letter, and it needs to be translated because the language in which you are writing to, they don't understand English. If they don't bring the writing into the context of English, they will not understand the depth of the message you are transmitting. So our pastor using Greek, Hebrew, all these languages to communicate and teach us the will and the word of God. It is for us to appreciate the value, to appreciate the context and the content, okay, so that we will know the space in which the message is communicated.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things that goes into it, and we can all see the manifesting evidence of it, that it is plain in our lives.
Okay.
That now we understand the depths of everything that our pastor has been teaching us, because he takes us back to understand the language, the meaning, the intent, even taking us to etymology and all those things for us to understand what is actually being communicated. And anyways, our pastor is a doctor anyway, so it has to be done. At least it helps us appreciate the impact of education as well, because it plays part in ministry. If not, Jesus wouldn't have studied the Torah for him to go and discuss the scriptures with the priests when he was at the age of 12.
Okay, thank you. On the topic of discipleship, how important is it to disciple members in church? In our church here, a lot of people come and it's as though we are in school, because our pastor would not only teach you, but will expect that you answer certain questions so that he knows that what he's teaching is going in the direction that he wants to teach. In other words, he evaluates every time what he has been taught. How important do you think that churches should inculcate discipleship among the individuals in the church?
Okay, so let me use myself as a case study regarding this matter. I came into the church typically a Zongo boy that has been called and told that you will do ministry. I had been in ministry, let's say 5 years before I came into the church, and under discipleship and all those things. I was learning a lot, but the Lord led me here. When I came, I did not want to associate myself with people. In fact, the first time I came, I prophesied to 2 people. And I had an issue talking with ladies. Serious issue. And especially if you are a nurse. Now, I didn't want to even talk to nurses because of certain things that I had faced and certain perceptions and mindsets I had. So one day, Papa took me to NMTC. That I remember, it was after Whitlock. He had taught us evangelism and a whole lot of things. So he took me to NMTC and said, today you will prophesy to the nurses. I was like, Papa, and me. I will not do it. Papa was like, you will do. So when we got the Papa sat at where the Apollo tank was. I don't know if that is where it is there. Still, just opposite. So he sat there and told me prophesy. First time, I did the second time. Then he pushed me. He said something and I was pushed, and I said, okay, I will prophesy. I prophesied to 1, 2, and I found out like, so this thing, I can do it. Then I started speaking to them. Now look at it. If not for discipleship, I wouldn't have discovered that I would be able to do that.
Yeah.
In other words, discipleship led to the discovery of another aspect of me I didn't know that I had.
Okay.
And it has been a blessing to me. The same way, communication of the message to certain people is not enough unless we come to the place of discipleship. Look at the ministry of Jesus. He called them, he taught them, he discipled them. And out of 12 men, we are about 2.2 billion now. 2.2 million or billion. The last time I checked the statistics regarding Christians, out of 12 men. That came out of one man. Discipleship is the key for multiplication. That is the simplest way I would put it.
Key for multiplication.
If you want to multiply, disciple. And until you've discipled, you don't have the seed for multiplication. So, our pastor practicing discipleship, as I said earlier, I'm a typical case study. I didn't know a lot of things about me. No. It is by his discipleship. And up to date, I still go to him with questions. Because you see, discipleship ends the day that you end it. But discipleship is a journey of humility. Because you will not know all unless you submit yourself to the one that the Lord has taught all that you need to know.
Okay.
Then know that your discipler has experienced what you haven't experienced. And anyway, people will say that we don't need a discipler. I don't blame them. Who am I to condemn one that has made his life a kiosk, whilst I see myself as an international bank? A kiosk doesn't need an accountant. So if you see yourself as a kiosk, who am I to condemn you? It is you seeing yourself that way, so you don't need disciple. But me, I need discipleship. Know that every state institution, every great institution, and every profitable institution is accountable. And I thank God for the life of my father, because at least I can say that I'm an accountable person. And I'm accountable to him.
So you would say that our Father does a hands-on discipleship.
Fully practical. He will not just teach you theory. He will take you to the field. He will take you to the field. And he will not just take you to the field and leave you there. He will guide you on the field. You see, a shepherd is always on the field with the sheep guiding them. And that is my father. I would say his model is a typical Psalm 23 model.
Okay.
He will not just tell you that is the water, go there. No, he will lead you there. And I would say mostly, if not all the time, the waters that he will let you taste, it is a water that he has tasted himself. I don't know where I have gone for evangelism that my father hasn't gone. He has already experienced before I went there. So when he is sending me, I know that he has conquered. So I am just going to experience a triumphant victory that my father has experienced, just for me to enjoy the victory of the Lord.
I like that you said it is where he has tasted. I want you to speak to the level of leadership and discipleship he gives us in the house. So our house is where we love, the saints walk in love, right? I believe that our Father is a representative of everything he speaks and everything he teaches, right? So take us through some of the things that our Father embodies in the context of showing love and discipleship among the people in the church.
Okay. So it is a lot, but I will pick, I will pick love, I will pick care, and I will pick attention. let me add focus to it.
Okay.
So, let me start with love. Those who know me know that typically I didn't grow up with that fatherly love. I always tell my father, I'm learning fatherhood from him. And the kind of love that I've experienced from him. You see, he has shown me love to the extent that sometimes when people do things, the typical old Elijah, I would have reacted, I would have reacted. But now, the kind of love I've experienced from him, it makes me sometimes, when people are doing things, I just sit down, I just laugh and I tell myself they need love. Because when they are doing those things, I see my former self in them, the one that lacked that love. You get me? So now, when I see them doing the same thing, I understand that the issue is not their attitude, the issue is love.
Okay.
Because I used to be there. Let me give you an example. I used to be much of an angry person in nature. In fact, smiling was something that I had to put energy into it to do. I remember one day someone called me on phone. I was walking around with the phone and said, Osofo, can't you smile? I said, I will force and smile. Can you believe from Vodafone to here, the exercise I was doing was trying to smile. I will smile, then all of a sudden my face will squeeze again. But I experienced that kind of fatherly love from him. I remember one day I was doing a lot of things that people would have judged me and those kind of things. My father would call me, counsel me. I would do it again. Like, one time he called me and he said, Elijah, how many times have you done this? I said, Papa, I can't count. And he said, you've lost your tally card. And I was expecting him to fire me like, he just prayed with me. And said, the Lord will help you. And as I'm sitting here, I don't remember the last time I committed that thing. No. I didn't come out of my effort. I came out because I was shown the love. So now when I see people doing the same thing, I just show them love. And I can say by the glory of God, at least learning from my father, I've seen 2 or 3 people stop the same thing that I stopped. Not that I called them and prayed for them or not. No. I just showed them the same love that I was shown. So the love, the focus he has given on me. I remember one time we were having church workers meeting and he said I'm his project work. And I was like, project work done. And look at the project work now. Now I've become thesis.
Yeah.
I've become thesis. You see, when I was outside of the country, my father one day told me something, and that day I called like 4 people and told them that my father is saying that I'm maturing. My father said he loves me. I called like 4 different people and I told them, hey, this is what my father has said. Like, I was so happy. Why? For a man to know that you are maturing or you are not maturing, it means he has paid attention to something. Because for you to evaluate, you must first assess. Because evaluation comes after an action has been done. So which means he has evaluated, this is what I did. So I was very happy. He focuses on us. Yeah. He shows us the love. So when you come into the church, you will see a lot of people that their past may not look that glamorous, but you will see that their present and their future shines better than their past. And it is very scriptural, because it is a shame when your past is better than your present, because we move from glory to glory. So my father has taught us a lot and shown us a lot of love, focus, attention. I can say discipleship here is top notch. And I've experienced it from every angle. A time came, I knew that I was disturbing him, and I was expecting him to fire me like. He will call me and he will just smile at me. And I will be like, Pepe, you're umbrella. umbrella. But by God's grace, we may not be there, but actually we can say that we are better than where we were before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you know, as you've said, it's like in some short minutes, explained all this process of discipleship. I am sure it did not go that rosy for you. Today you are speaking about it so nicely, but speak to other people that do not like to be discipled in the way of the Lord. You know, discipleship is not easy. Sometimes it's so discomforting. It looks as if somebody is frustrating your life and all that. So speak to the people that do not avail or give themselves to tutelage and discipleship.
As I said earlier, discipleship is a journey of humility. You see, it pleased God to see Jesus suffer.
Okay.
2, Jesus learned obedience through the sufferings he suffered. 3, the Bible states it clearly that no chastisement is pleasant in their presence. Truth is, for you to be discipled, you must die to yourself. Because anyone that you find that is not open to discipleship has one problem, and the problem is self. This is how I do my things. This is how I want my things to be done. But the thing about discipleship is it is not about how you want it to be done. It is how God wants it to be done, communicated to the discipler for him to implement it on you. Many a times we compare the models others are using to disciple people and think we deserve the same thing. But for all you know, again, let me use myself as an example. I'm a typical Zongo boy. I would say almost 95% of my friends, I know them from the Zongo. You get me? So, discipling a person like me, you are coming to do me hash KKKK. See, I've seen the harshness and the KKKK from where I am coming from. So if you are using that model on me, it is like we are continuing what I have seen. I remember one day I had an issue with a brother of a military person. I slapped the person flat. You know what I was told to do? I was punished. That time I was not here. I was told to carry blocks. We are already going to the gym. Now blocks next one already. So I just was like normal. But you see, one time there was an issue in my house and Papa got to hear of it. Actually, I was expecting him to like, but he just called me, spoke to me. I was thinking like, So I was expecting him to do something later. I don't know if it is today that he will do it. He didn't do anything again. Just showed me love. And I don't remember the last time I got angry to the extent that I scattered a place. I could get angry and scatter a whole church setup. And I saw it to be like, what can you do? But the man has showed me love. So you see, you don't submit to discipleship with your own rules. When you come into discipleship, you come with a submissive heart, a humble heart,
So
telling the Lord.
you don't submit to
Discipleship with your own rules. No, you come with a submissive heart, with a humble heart, and say, "Here I am."
Okay.
You don't come to discipleship and say, "Here I am, disciple him." You come to discipleship and say, "Here I am, disciple me." So when you come, you just submit yourself. Lay yourself down. Because if you stand in discipleship, you will always see yourself having a level of height with your discipler. But when you lie down in discipleship, that is when you can be lifted up. I came and I was having a lot of expectations and things. For like 5 years, it was back to back with me and Papa. I realized something. And I always say, I thank God for my brother in this life. You see, another issue with people that don't want to be discipled is the company they have.
Okay.
One man said, If you have 5 friends as fools, I am rest assured that you are the 6th fool. If all that you have are yes men that do not sit down to evaluate matters and are not able to tell you no at a point, you will not get anywhere. I will talk to Eddie and Eddie will tell me, bro, this one, you may have a case, but authority is authority. Learn. Here we are. So you don't come to discipleship with your mind. No. You come, you submit, let go of everything. You may not like the person, but discipleship is not about liking. Discipleship is about following. But if you cannot love and follow, you are not ready for discipleship. So that is it.
Okay, so you say you go to be discipled because you trust in the person's discipleship. That is okay. So discipleship is done out of love. So discipleship is done out of love. Love is present in discipleship. So no matter how hard it might seem, it is done from the perspective of love. You might not realize how it has transformed your life until it is done. And so in here we embrace discipleship in all directions. Finally, before we go, our Father's ministry builds men and raises leaders. You're a leader in the church. I want you to finally speak to how our man of God's leadership has impacted your life.
Shortly. You see, leadership is effective only when the follower is really following. And to follow is a decision. Papa always say to love is a decision, because love is giving to someone what they want most when they least deserve it. So, you see, I realized something. Most of us, when we were being called into leadership, we didn't want to.
Of course.
But Papa will tell you, work with the Lord. Work with the Lord. And it is clear, his type of leadership is evidential amongst all of us. You don't need an essay to know that Papa is a discipler. His leadership is evidential. You can see from the way that he treats us. It is rare for you to see a leader that will say that this is what the Lord has said. Can we add and do this and do that? And he will call you to the implementation stage. Rare to see most pastors giving their pulpits to their sons. It is not normal. But you can see our Father sometimes leaving even his Sunday pulpit to us. It is clear. He is a man that you can trust and follow, because God is with him.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Now, before you go, our Father always says that a leader is one that can first lead himself, then he can lead other people. Our Father is a typical example of a leader as Christ is. Thank you for joining us. We hope that this episode will bless your life. Have a blessed day.
The transformed life.
The transformed life.
A transformed life.
I am transformed. What about you?